Welcome back. Starting today, some could have their entire monthly Social Security check withheld because the Social Security Administration overpaid them. Let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger now to explain. Jill, good morning to you. Help us understand this move, especially for those of us not on Social Security, and why this is happening.
You know, Social Security pays out to 70 million recipients, and we're talking about just under 1% of recipients. That's 700,000 people who may have been overpaid. Now, some could be as a result of just not reporting your status correctly, changes in your work life. Some could be just the government goofing. And what the government has done is, over the years, said we've got to get the overpayment repaid back to the government. And so that makes sense. Previously, sort of before 2023 or so, the government would say, until we get the money back, we would take all of your subsequent Social Security checks to get the money repaid. Then, after a 60 Minutes broadcast in 2023, the government said, oh, listen, this is really impactful for folks. We're going to reduce it to 10% of their Social Security check. We'll pull that money back. We'll make sure the repayment is, goes back to the coffers. Now, as of today, anybody who receives a repayment going forward, this doesn't impact people who got it in the past. Going forward, you're going to get a note from the government that says, we overpaid you. We are now going to take 100% of your Social Security check. Unless you want to make a separate payment, that's what we're going to do. And I think people just need to be aware that, again, this is an overpayment. Could be your error, could be the government's error. Doesn't matter. You're on the hook to repay it.
Wow. I would imagine, though, it's quite a sting for anyone who does receive that message. Some folks really do rely on their Social Security payments. So what happens to them? Or maybe the better question is, how can they avoid this in the future? Really drill down on the numbers, I guess.
Okay, so two different things. One is, if you really can't afford this, you've got to go to the government website, to ssa.gov, and you actually ask and say, hey, I need a different system. I rely on this. And about 40% of people who get Social Security, it's their entire income. So if you go to ssa.gov, there are links on that page that will say, hey, I need help. Now, going forward is a somewhat different question. I really want people to understand that if you're getting more money in your Social Security check than previously, flag that. If you've got changes to your own life, your work life, your marital status, there's death or disability, flag that to Social Security, stay on it, keep good records. Unfortunately, this is persistence. And to be clear, if you don't feel comfortable using ssa.gov, make this a family affair. We've got to help everybody because there's fewer people at Social Security offices. The phone lines are going to get jammed up. So work with someone who's comfortable working online to help you out if you think you've been impacted.
That's a great point and great advice. Jill Schlesinger, thank you so much for all of that.